Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am joined by the ever so lovely Junetta.
Thank you. You're far too kind.
Okay, Junetta is going to be joining me today for my labor and delivery Q&A.
Ooh. What a story.
For my labor and delivery Q&A now, I got a bunch of questions after I posted my labor and delivery story video, and I got some follow-up questions, and I thought that I should do a Q&A. And also I thought, what better way to talk about my labor and delivery than with somebody who was there, who had the front row seats to everything that was going on. Because for me, there were moments that I completely blacked out. So he should help me with all the memory stuff. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. The first question is, what factors did you consider when picking a hospital for Rue's birth? For us, we had a hospital tour, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What we did was we wanted a hospital that was going to allow for him to be present for Rue's birth during the delivery stage of things, because there are some hospitals that is not possible. And we also wanted a hospital which had room, where there was a lot of room, and we also wanted a hospital that didn't separate us with the baby. And yeah, man, also we didn't have a lot of options though.
Yeah, and our gynae actually delivers in Bukam. So
yeah, our OB also, my doctor.
you call him an OB.
Not our gynae, baby. You can't have a gynecologist. So my gynecologist.
What does OB stand for?
OBGYN is obstetrician. That's the word.
Obstetrician.
I hope that I'm saying this right, guys. Okay. Yes, so basically he was somebody who did deliveries in Bukamuso, so that was also a factor for us, because we wanted an OB that I wanted an OB. I'm making the same mistake that she did. I wanted an OB that was going to also deliver my baby. Yeah, so that's what we considered. Is how did you manage to get baby daddy in the room with you during birth? So we had a hospital tour before we actually went to the hospital. What we wanted to find out, we went in there with a bunch of questions, and we did ask them if it was possible for him to be in the room with us. We also asked our doctor, but we went to the hospital and asked the nurses just to make sure. And yeah, man, we wanted a hospital that was going to make that happen for us, because it was something that was really important that it happened for us. It was not very popular. There were some nurses who cringed a little bit at the thought of having baby daddy in the room when having the baby, but you know, it wasn't their decision to make, so we were pretty determined to find a hospital that was gonna make that possible for us. So yeah, we asked, and then they delivered. Our doctor was pretty chill about it. He just doesn't care. He was like, oh, whatever you want, it's pretty cool, like whatever. The next question is, how did baby daddy change after witnessing the birth of his son?
My goodness, that was like the best moment of my life. So I kind of just started taking fatherhood a little bit more seriously. But it was such a great experience. I mean, it didn't affect me in any negative way. I didn't have any traumas. I didn't look at you or anything else differently.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a great experience.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, you know, that he kept on saying, like, after, is how much he had so much respect for women, and how much he had so much respect for me and everything that I had gone through, because he kind of really saw what it really means to go through that for his son to be here. So that really changed, like, in terms of his mindset, and just being more appreciative of, you know, what women go through when having kids or when having babies. And yeah, so no negative thing, because a lot of people were like, he's gonna be traumatized, he's never gonna want to have sex with you, it's gonna be the worst thing, oh my god, why would you even want that for yourself? But it never ever had any kind of negative effect on him.
No,
yeah,
not at all. Look at me.
He's
do
good.
This again, huh?
Yeah, he's good, guys, and the bedroom is How much does it cost to have a baby at Bokamoso if you don't have medical aid? Now, I mentioned that I didn't have medical aid in my Q&A video. I am planning to make a video of the total expenses that I incurred during my whole pregnancy, including birth and delivery. So if you are interested, then you should check out, stay tuned for that video. So that's where I'll break down everything. For now, I can't really say from the top of my head. Yeah.
Should I take a guess?
Yeah.
50,000?
50,000!
10,000? No, not 10. 100,000?
Oh wow, I wish we had that kind of money. Anyway, no, I will definitely just make a video where I just focus on that, and that'll be like all the information that you need as far as having a baby there. How does it feel to get your cervix checked?
This is not for me.
So, when I first got my cervix checked when I was 36 weeks pregnant, what's wrong? When I was 36 weeks pregnant. So when I went in there, I anticipated the worst, guys, because I knew, I had read that it was just going to be painful, uncomfortable, and all that kind of weird stuff. But surprisingly, it was not as painful as I thought it was. And it was quick, way too quickly. Like, I remember just being there in the doctor's office and just being like, is that it? Like, are you done and whatnot? And he was like, yeah, that's it. He's taking off the gloves. Yeah, we're done. And yeah, it is a bit uncomfortable because obviously there are some fingers that are up your hoo-ha, but it was not painful for me. But it's different from woman to woman, so it might not be the same for you. But yeah, it was just a little uncomfortable for me, but it wasn't that bad. Yeah.
You're strong, baby.
I am. I'm a pretty strong one. Why did you get induced? Why did you not let it happen naturally? Now, I get this question a lot. I got induced for a couple of reasons. The first reason was the fact that my doctor was planning on doing some traveling that week, and he was saying that I had a higher chance that I would go into labor during that same week. And he told me that he can induce me, and he told me that the chances that I'll go into labor are very high during that week, and the chances that he's not going to be the one to deliver my baby would be high. So I really, really wanted him there for my baby's birth, and that was something that played a very big role in asking him in actually making the decision to be induced. Another thing was the fact that I was already so far along in labor because I had dilated a little bit. My cervix was pretty soft, and also I had a very smooth and low risk pregnancy, so there were no complications as far as, there were no complications whatsoever, so it wasn't much of a risk for me to get induced. And another thing was that my baby was positioned very well. My mucus plug had already broke, and also I had already lost my mucus plug, and the baby was a healthy weight, and yeah, my body was just really ready. So I was like, why not just get it done? Why do I have to wait? Yeah, so that's why we decided to get induced, and I am glad that we made that decision. I don't regret it at all. It went the best that it could have possibly have went. You want to add on anything? I think I said most of what needs to be said. Yeah.
Did you mention the fact that the doctor's going to be away?
Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, the doctor was going to be away and all that good stuff. How far were you dilated before getting induced? So the last time I got checked before going into the hospital to get induced was when we had a little bit of a fright. There was a time I thought I was in labor, and then we went to the hospital. That was when I got checked. I think they didn't tell us how far dilated I actually was, but I knew that going in there I was about 2 centimeters dilated from my last 36 weeks appointment. So yeah, I think just about 2 centimeters dilated. Yeah, that's how far I was before getting induced. Did you ever find out what injection you got for the pain? No, I never did. I believe that it was not even an injection for pain. I think it
for vomit.
I got something for vomiting, and then I got something that was apparently supposed to help me with the pain.
Oh yes.
So that injection, I never found out what it was. Actually, I should have asked. I just never asked. But I strongly believe that it was just something to make me feel like they're helping me when they're really not. It was just the mind F for me. So I just don't think that it was really anything that was, because it didn't work. I was still in very, 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 very much pain, in a lot of pain either way. So did you get an episode? Most of these questions are mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get an episiotomy or did you tear naturally? I did not get an episiotomy. I did not get an episiotomy. I did tear naturally. So yeah, like my doctor's words, that's exactly what he said to me.
Damn.
Yeah, so that is what happened. I tore naturally just from my baby's big head. How painful was the pushing? It was excruciatingly painful. I was screaming. It was horrifying. I think this person will tell you guys how much pain I actually was in.
I got casted. At some
Actually,
point,
he says that's the part that I left out on my labor and delivery story. The fact that I was really cussing
oh my
about.
goodness. There was a part where we actually broke up, and there was a part where we were never gonna have a baby again. There was a part where the baby was gonna be the death of you. There was a part where you hated the nurses. There was a part where you felt like I was on their side.
I felt like he wasn't understanding, guys. It was such a horrifying experience.
But you're strong, huh?
I was tough.
You're strong.
I really tried. There was a part where I was even trying to like cooperate, especially the time when you're like, breathe, baby, breathe. And I was like, okay.
You're like,
I did try
this
to
is not
breathe.
funny. This is not
There was a point when I was trying to breathe. I was like going, and then I was like, you know what, F this. This is not working, and this is not helping me. But yeah, pushing was not easy. But once the head is out, pretty much anything that needs to come out as far as the rest of the body and your placenta, you don't even feel anything. You don't even feel anything. It's like, you know what, all the worst part is over, so everything else just came mañana. So yeah. What was the hardest part about going into labor? Well, I didn't go into labor naturally. I think the hardest part for me was the fact that I didn't expect for me to my contractions to become so severe so quickly. I thought I would have a bit more time in terms of like, you know, preparing for, you know, I thought I would have a bit more time basically. So that was the hardest part, where it went from 0 to 100 really quickly. So yeah, I think that was the hardest part. My labor was very short. It was about 4 hours. So from the moment I felt my first contraction to when baby was born, that all happened within 4 hours. So yeah.
I think it was quicker though.
It was quicker. It was quicker than 4 hours. Yeah.
Like active labor was probably an hour.
Yeah, active like pain and screaming and all of that. I think it happened for about an hour also, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did Junetta get emotional?
No, I did not get emotional. I had to be strong for everyone, you know? There was no reason to get emotional. What? Did I get emotional? I didn't.
No. In that first, I think a lot of the moments, you were just horrified. You were like, oh my God. I think there was a time, I think I talked about this in the video, in my labor and delivery video, where you left and then came back, and it was just like, there was just such calmness when you left. Everybody was like, okay, now you need to sign a paper, it's fine.
I got back and I was just wondering, what did they do to you? Because everything changed.
I was
gone for 10 minutes, I come back and Tata's just screaming, and you know, nurses are busy trying to calm her down. I'm like, wait a minute. That happened so quick.
Yeah.
But I was not emotional.
I think he got emotional after, obviously, when Rue came.
Yeah, when I saw his big eyes.
Yeah.
My boy.
He's outside going, I don't know if it's coming across right now in the video. It says, what did you pack in your hospital bag versus what you actually used? For me, I packed quite a bunch of things. I packed quite a bunch of things that I didn't use. I had my birthing ball. I had my... What did I have? I had a bunch of things.
You had the iPad?
I had my iPad that I was going to just chill in between my contractions, watch a little Netflix. Snacks. Like, I was like ready for like 12 hours of just chilling. Because you have to understand, guys, when I was talking to my doctor the day before I got induced, he told me that inductions take long. He said that it usually takes long. If you are lucky, it's going to only take 12 hours. This is the words that were coming out of my doctor's mouth. So I was preparing for just this chill nyana, just a lot of Netflixing, chatting with Bay. I even was planning to record like some of this stuff. Like, we didn't even get a moment to breathe, guys. From the moment my water got broken, it was just drama. It was like drama. So I didn't have a lot of time to use most of the things that I had, but I did a lot. I did use the baby stuff, the baby clothes, the blankets and all that stuff. He used them. And yeah, we were at the hospital for 2 days and 1 night. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I'll talk a little bit more about what I packed in my hospital back in a different video, and talk to you guys about what I actually packed versus what I used and all that good stuff. Did you ever think of getting an epidural? In the very beginning of my pregnancy, throughout my pregnancy, I was very determined that, you know what, I'm going to get an epidural. I don't have to soldier on through the pain. A lot of mommies had come to me and be like, no, you want to feel the pain, you know, feel what it feels like to have a baby and all that good stuff. And then I was just like, you know what, if it's painful, I'm just not going to put myself through it. I'm just going to have the epidural. But at the end of my pregnancy, I remember having a conversation with you, and I was like, you know, I actually kind of now want to try to do this as naturally as I can. You know, I don't want the epidural, but I was still open to it. I did say that if at all it got a little too much for me, I wasn't going to just put myself through it. I was going to ask for it and all that stuff. But if you watched my story, then you will know there was not a lot of time to even get an epidural, because there's a point where you can't get an epidural depending on how far you are dilated. So my dilation happened so quickly. Within minutes, I was already like 7 minutes, 7 centimeters dilated. So that meant that I could not get an epidural at all. And I was already in a lot of pain that I could not stand still or sit still to get the injection on my back. I was moving about way too much to even be able to be administered it. I just didn't get it.
Plus I think you have to book for it in advance, so that, what do they call them?
Anesthetics. Anesthetician.
Yeah, and you have to book that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
So I guess you know that.
And they said he was only one.
Yeah.
There was only one that was available that day. So, but then it was just not an option at that point, because everything just happened so quickly. What did you do to prepare for labor? I watched a lot of labor and delivery vlogs on YouTube, which I made him watch a lot of, and also some births videos where like they were really like showing everything.
But it's nothing.
Because I didn't want him to pass out while seeing what was going on.
I was not about to. No.
Yeah. And also we did a birthing class, so that was the most helpful. And that was the one that kind of eased our anxiety of giving birth and all of that. So yeah. And it also helped him prepare to be my partner, my labor and delivery partner, and all of that stuff. And he was so helpful, even though there were moments where I wanted him to just leave and not be there. But he was very, very helpful, and I really wouldn't have done it with anyone else. So
that's my babe.
Question is, what is the last meal you had before delivering, and what was the first thing you had after? The first meal that I had, okay, I got induced early in the morning, so I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything to eat.
I don't remember us having anything.
No, we didn't have breakfast at all. So I didn't have anything to eat before getting induced. But after I got induced, what did I have?
Was it hospital food?
It was hospital food. I remember eating. Oh, I think le roti, le beef stew. But namating na bilwe like mokwejebe. Yeah, and there was also.
So the gem squash.
What's the gem squash? Oh yeah, then there was that little thing. It was not that good, guys.
I'm not too sure. I can't remember.
The food was not all that great, but I think that's the first thing that I had because I was starving. I was tired and I was starving at the same time. So yeah. Did they allow filming at Bokamoso or you didn't even bother? I don't even remember if they did because everything happened so quickly that we didn't even try to film anything. So yeah.
But I don't think they would have had a problem.
I don't think
they were not disturbing
anybody.
That's
I think our doctor was kind of really chill about a lot of things. He really just wanted to just make your birthing experience what you wanted and stuff. He wasn't like all about big rules and stuff like that. So I'm sure that if we had the time and if we were able to prepare, we probably would have been able to film a lot of the stuff. Because we did film a few things like you sleeping. I think I remember taking some pictures of you sleeping and filming him after he came out. And you took some pictures of him right after he came out and stuff like that. So I don't think that they would have had much of an issue with that, but definitely do have a conversation with your doctor or whoever's going to be delivering your baby before you try to whip up a phone or a camera and film everything. In between contractions, what did you do to pass the time? Also, what are the general rules? There was no time for me in between contractions, guys. When my contractions started, that was it. Like, it was time to have the baby. There was never like a moment where I had a contraction and I was like reading a book or watching a series or anything like that. Everything for me just happened really, really quickly. From the moment I had my first contraction, it was just all hell broke loose. So I didn't have that much time. And also, what are the general rules? What are the general rules at Bokamoso?
You can't have more than one visitor. Or can only have one person besides yourself in the room, and also, their couch can turn into a bed, so there's space to sleep at.
And they actually
just don't want a lot of movement.
They don't want a lot of movement, and also the rules.
Yeah, they limit the amount of people that can come and see you at a time.
Yeah,
it's like 2 per visit.
Per visit, yeah. And also, speaking of the bed, the couch bed sleeper type thing, they actually come and prepare it for you and all that stuff for you for whoever is going to be your partner for that night or for your birth. So yeah, and also you never separate with your baby. Like your baby, everything about your baby happens in the same room that you are in. So there's no other nursery that happens away from you or whatever. Immediately when the baby is born, is put in wherever they wipe him out and whatever. Everything happens right before your eyes. The warmer, everything just happens right before your eyes. So that is actually a good thing that we really, really loved about giving birth at that particular hospital. That's it.
We did it. Okay. This is a very easy one for me, by the way.
Because you didn't talk much. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. And if you enjoy this person being on my channel, do comment so that he tries to come by as much as he can. Anyway, thank you guys. Love you all so much. See you in the next video. Bye.